My name is Peter Stevenson. Um, I work at Department Communities as an administrative assistant in the People Division.
Hi, my name is Meredith and I've been working for the department since February 2020. I currently work in the Organisation Development and Workforce Capability team and I live with a vision impairment.
Hey, I'm Danielle. I have a really rare neuromuscular condition. It's called multi-mini-core disease. I work currently in the assist support team on the assist support help desk.
Hi, my name's Aaron Whitten. I have cerebral palsy, which mostly affected my right side of my body. I also have a hearing impairment. I'm currently employed with Department of Communities under the Guyker government and reporting team.
How do I talk to someone with a disability?
This one makes me laugh a fair bit, actually, because you talk to someone with a disability the exact same way that you would talk to anyone else in your life.
You treat them with respect. Try not to talk down to them.
How would you talk to an ordinary person is the question I would put to that. I would rather be treated like everybody else is being treated. You know, that the saying goes, think about how you would want to be treated and then talk to the person.
From my perspective, you talk to a person with disability like you talk to anyone else.
You may need to consider access requirements, but in general, don't be scared to talk to someone with a disability.
Is it patronising or helpful to ask if you need help with what you're doing?
It really depends how the assistance is being offered. I have instances where a lot of people I've been, say, walking to the lifts and people have grabbed me and physically forced me into the lift.
People may have different responses to this depending on the day, depending on the circumstance, depending on how help is offered. I would very, very much reinforce that if you ask someone if they need help and they tell you no, even if you think that they may need help, respect that answer. It can be quite awkward at times. I've had a situation at work where I was going to the toilet. Someone was coming out of the toilet and they stopped to ask me if I was okay by myself, which I answered yes, seeing as I had been going to the toilet by myself prior to them intervening. They then congratulated me on being able to go to the toilet by myself and patted me on my head.
What do people get wrong about you?
They sort of tend to look at me from the outside and not from the inside, and they sort of they think of me having a disability, like in having an intellectual disability rather than a physical disability.
Often because of my very visible disability, people will make assumptions about what I can and cannot do physically.
What a lot of people get wrong is I can't see, I can't hear, and they'll shout at me, or that I can't speak for myself. So many instances where I've gone into a cafe to order a coffee and I'll be with someone and they will actually look at the other person and not look at me and assume that the other person knows what I want.
Some people think that I'm disabled, I should rely on a carer or my family member or friend. I'm a normal human being. I get out there, I work, I do everything else just like everybody else.
What are some barriers faced in the workplace as a person with disability?
It's tricky when you need to go to meetings somewhere. You always have to ask someone to take you to wherever you need to go. Also, the main barriers I face are to do with inaccessible websites or programs that I can't access, or going into meetings and into Teams meetings particularly, and people will share their screen and of course I can't see the screen.
One of my main barriers at the moment in my current workplace is my hearing impairment. Because we live in an open office and I work with a number of different people across the whole floor, and I find it very hard to be engaged or be included in some conversation.
With regards to language, what's the difference between disabled person and person with disability?
I don't think there is a right or wrong. I would suggest probably taking the cue from the person you're talking to, or asking if you're, say, writing policy or something like that, like asking people. There isn't really a consensus around the disabled community as to which is right or wrong.
It can upset me a little sometimes, because the presumption is you have a condition or that you're not functional.
For me, the way I feel, yes, okay, from the outside I am disabled, but in the inside, mentally and compassionately, I'm a normal person, just like everybody else. I don't see myself being disabled.
Why don't you just go on the disability pension instead of having the stress of work?
First of all, I've been brought up to be independent and get out there in the real world. I've been brought up to gain interest and dream on what I, and to achieve those interests and dreams, you can't just sit at home and do nothing.
This question is, again, makes me laugh. The criteria to access the disability support pension is incredibly stringent, and the majority of people don't actually get access. Living off the disability support pension is really, really difficult, and it would, I would think, not be a preference for anyone.
You might be able to afford the bare necessities, but you can't afford the finer things in life. I certainly wouldn't have been able to buy my house. I wouldn't have the social life that I have. I wouldn't have had the overseas trips that I've had.
Being out in the workforce is being able to prove your capability no matter what your limitations are.
I really enjoy my job. I love it. I love contributing. I love the productivity. I don't want to be on a pension. I don't want to have nothing to do with my day.
You know, if you're working for a department like communities, then you might have the opportunity to change lives. Now, you certainly can't do that when you're on pension.
How can I, as a work colleague, be an ally?
I think in order to be an ally, you talk to the person, you don't talk to the disability.
Be open, be flexible, respectful and understanding.
How do you feel about someone saying you're inspiring?
I like it, but when it happens all the time, sometimes it can be a little annoying.
Really depends on how it is said and in what context it is said. And I have a friend who tells me that I inspired her to go to university as a mature age student, which is really cool because it's about the person, it's not about being inspiring because of your disability.
If it's little things like everybody else can do, there's no need, from my perspective, there's no reason for them to be dramatic and hey, fine. I'm a normal human being just like everybody else. What's the difference? Anyone can be inspiring.
I hate it. I feel awkward and I don't know how to respond to it, because people generally think that they're paying me a compliment. I don't remember a week that's gone by in my entire life where it hasn't happened. It can be really, really aggravating, like that constant feedback from society that it's surprising that I am even leaving the house is just really strange.
Why did you participate in this video?
To help raise awareness that people with a disability are resilient, a lot more resilient than some people think. That they're a valuable asset to the workplace.
Not many people are able to speak out, and I just thought that maybe other people from around department community or outside department community have a better understanding of myself as well as other people with disabilities, and hopefully in some time down the track people can be a bit more approachable towards me and communicate.
I'm passionate about making the workplace and society a safer and easier place for people with disabilities. Oftentimes it can be either like the built environment or software or people's attitudes that can be way more disabling than our actual disabilities. And I think a good way of trying to challenge that is increasing awareness.
The key to increasing disability awareness is education, and if I can provide education to people from a lived experience perspective, that's a great thing.